So if you don't know me, my name is Danielle, founder and CEO of ESS Group. We are an international contracting firm, which means we get government contracts here in the United States, as well as currently in Africa, both in Senegal and Johannesburg, South Africa, excuse me. And we're also in the makings of spreading our wings to the UK. So it's been pretty exciting, a lot of exciting things happening with the company. But with that being said, let me share my screen here, and I'll pull up our presentation. There we go. So this is why we're here today. We are here because we want to know how to grow a multi-million-dollar business without the use of social media. As you know, especially during the pandemic, social media has become huge. I mean, we haven't really been able to communicate in person, meet people face to face. We went through quarantine. We had to deal with social distancing. And then there are a lot of people that we know have gotten sick. So it was just mandatory that we had to keep a social distance from people. So with that, social media and marketing your business became huge. And everyone, especially 2019, all the way up until last year, and even to this day, going into 2022, businesses are really heavily relying on social media to grow and to connect with people that we once used to be able to connect with face to face. The problem with that, though, is for those who maybe are not comfortable with social media. Obviously, we're running a business. We have busy lives, and we're already balancing, our family life and the workload from our business. And who really wants to deal with those daunting tasks of coming up with social media posts or spending thousands of dollars a month on a social media manager, only probably to not get the results that you want, and scheduling on different platforms to reach different audiences. And be honest with you, it just becomes really frustrating for business owners. But the way we grew our business and became successful, and now we're tapping into, other countries and really other continents, our success did not come from social media. We didn't have to make one post to get the success that we had today, have today, excuse me. And so that's what I want to share with you today. Just to let you know how this is going to flow, we are an open forum, which means I do want people to feel comfortable. I'm not going to lecture you the whole time. It's not going to be a slideshow. I mean, yes, we have slides just so you can take some notes, but this webinar is not really going to be heavily relied on the slides. I do want to give you guys time at the end to ask questions. So if you have any questions, comments, or you just want some tips for your business, we'll have time at the end to do that. So kind of told you a little bit about me already, of course. Like I said, we are an international contracting company. I have over 14 years of management, leadership, and strategic planning. So I have been doing it for quite some time. Started my business in 2015 and had immense success as a government contracting consultant, as well as a contractor. Of course, we do provide online courses and mentorship, and have an array of things that I do in government contracting. I mean, you name it, from proposal writing to marketing strategies, business development, you name it. So, but most importantly, what makes me who I am is my two children. So I am a mother of two, and I really enjoy working out. I work out all the time, and I love to read, and I love to travel, which is why this business works with me so well, because I do love to travel. And a little tidbit about me again is that I am learning French, which is hard. It's very, very hard, but it's fun all at the same time. So okay, so let's get to it. So first, I want to start off by saying there are many different markets, right? There's several different markets, but when you narrow it down, you have three major markets, which are the B2B, which is also known as business to business. So that's when other businesses primarily do business with other businesses, and they typically are larger orders with fewer customers, right? So a common example of what a B2B business would look like is if you are a cleaning service. You have residential cleaning where you may go to individuals' houses and, clean residents, or you may target businesses, and that's commercial cleaning. So the commercial cleaning will be more of the B2B. So you also have B2C, which is the consumer market. So that's business to consumer. And that's when you are really targeting individuals. So again, if you have that cleaning business and you have a residential cleaning company, you're primarily going to focus on the individuals. And that marketing to reach those individuals is heavily going to rely on social media because you're trying to reach the everyday person. A lot of marketing and a lot of promotions. So you can reach that audience. And then you also have B2G. B2G sometimes is often overlooked, but it is a very lucrative market, and that's the business to government market. And doing business with the government comes in the form of government supplier contracts, okay? So you have these different tiers. And so today, what I wanna focus on is the B2G, because you can you can basically keep your same supplies, your same services, your same products, and market to each one of these different markets. The only thing you have to do is just change how you market, how you offer it, and how you price. So we are going to focus on the B2G today. And so with that being said, doing business with the government does not require social media. And that's the beauty of it. So you can really grow a business through government contracts without posting. And so the reason why you don't necessarily need social media is because a contracting officer, a purchasing officer, a procurement officer, there's several different names for them. They're basically the key decision makers that are going to, procure, solicit services and write the contracts for you to do the business with their agency. They're not going to look on your Instagram. They're not going to look on your Facebook. They're not going to search LinkedIn in order to buy your services. Now, it's always nice to have that social media presence, just to validate your company. If someone wants more information about your company, it's good to have it, but it's not going to be a requirement to secure a contract with them. And that's not going to be a decision maker for them to give you a contract. With a disclaimer of course, you don't want to have a bad personal social media account that's very vulgar, because then you might run into personal issues. Remember, we're still doing business with people. So you always want to have your best foot forward when you're presenting yourself on social media. But on the business aspect of it, that's not what is required. And the reason why that's not required is because the government, due to it's mandatory to have an open and transparent process of dealing with taxpayers' money and how they buy their goods and services, they go through a procurement process. So that is how the government buys their business. And so the procurement process is how the government acquires goods and services that they need to purchase. And they do that from businesses like yourself, okay? So if they need to purchase toilet paper, they need to purchase janitorial services, or if they need to purchase any type of product or service, they can't just go to Walmart, or they can't go to the grocery store, or they can't, go to Amazon and purchase what they're looking for, because again, it has to have a streamlined, open and transparent process to purchase these products and services. So they follow that procurement process. So today, what I want to talk about with you guys is how to be successful in getting through that procurement process, So what does that look like for you? So now okay, great, no social media, that sounds great. They have a procurement process that they follow, that's wonderful. So what does that mean to me? How do I get my foot in the door? How do I get my feet wet and get some of these contracts or do business with the government? So you do need to have your business set up correctly. So that's going to be very important. Let's see, you need to find the right opportunities. Just like in any market, you need to know who your target is and how to find those opportunities, how to leverage your business, through certifications and partnerships. And most importantly, and I can tell you I've had this for myself, is guidance and mentorship. I think that's in anything that you do and you want to be successful at, whether it's a sport, whether it's your business, whether it's parenting, you want someone who's been through it before, who can give you the ropes and the guidance so you can be successful at what you want to do. So with that being said, how do we get our business set up in the government space where we can make a lot of money? So step one is, of course, you need to be registered with the Secretary of State, right? Your next step would be, of course, to get an EIN number with the IRS. And so that way you're now officially a business. You're not a business until you have that in place, or at least not legally on paper, until you have those things in place, because now you can get paid. You can get a 1099. But the next step, to do business with the government, you need to have a DUNS number, which is your Dun & Bradstreet number. And we have ways that our company can tell you how to get that DUNS number for free, because there are times, I get phone calls and people are like, man, I spent thousands of dollars on my DUNS number. No, you do not have to spend any money on a DUNS number. You can get it for free. And if you want more information on how to get a free DUNS number, you can reach out to myself or anyone on my team, and we can give you that information, or we have ways to give you that information. But yes, you do need to have a DUNS number. It is mandatory, because you will need that for a lot of registrations in the government space. So the NAICS codes, right? What are NAICS codes? They're the North American Industry Classification System, and they come in the form of codes. All that is something that sounds very complicated. It's very simple. It's just an industry code stating what you do. So if you're in janitorial services, you'll have one particular code just to identify that's what you do. And it's a 6-digit code. Like myself, I'm in training. So training and development, we have a specific NAICS code for that. So when a business partner or a procurement officer, or a contracting officer sees my NAICS codes, they automatically know what my business does. So what you need to do is identify what those codes will be for you. They're free. They're easy to get. All you have to do is go to Google and type in your industry and say, what is the NAICS code and whatever I do, and you will get your NAICS code. So they're very easy to obtain, very easy to find, and you can really have as many NAICS codes as you want. So you're not limited to one or two. You can have multiple NAICS codes, but we do advise that you keep them within the realm of the same industry. But again, that's something that we can discuss if you have more questions about that with one of our team members on what NAICS codes should you get for your business. So next, you will, of course, want to have a SAM registration. Not sure if anybody has heard of what a SAM registration is. That's just a system of award management. That is a registration that is mandatory if you want to do business with the federal government. It's not mandatory with local or state, but with the federal government, yes, you definitely have to be registered in SAM. And yes, it can be somewhat of a tricky task if you don't really know how to navigate through the system, but of course you can always get guidance on how to do that, but it is definitely something that's mandatory. And the other very basic thing that you want to get is a capability statement. So the capability statement is just your business resume, right? It's just a 1 page, maybe 2 pages at the most, just basically stating what your business does, identify your NAICS codes, your past performance or contracts or customers that you may have had in the past that you wanted to display. And it's something that we use very heavily in the government market. So if you want to build a relationship with another company, or you're trying to build a relationship with a contracting officer, that will be the first thing that they ask you for. So yeah, so those are just the basic framework to get started. So now that you have this framework, so what's next? What's next after the framework? You need to find the right opportunities. So we're doing this, and I'm going through these steps just to remind you that these are the steps that you need to take if you want to be successful in this market. These are the steps that we do instead of scheduling posts, instead of creating posts and, reaching out to the consumer market. We are doing these things right here, which is deciding who are we going to market to. Am I going to market to the local government? Am I going to market to the state, or am I going to market to the federal government? Who am I marketing to? So once I decide who I'm going to market to, it helps me narrow down so I can find the right opportunities, because they all procure their work differently. And if you don't really identify who your customer is, just like if you don't identify who your target audience is in the consumer market or the business market, you will find yourself just throwing darts and you feel like you're not getting anywhere. So it's really no different from your target audience in the consumer market. So also, it's really important to decide if you're going to be a subcontractor or if you're going to be a prime contractor. So the subcontractor, well, let's start with the prime. A prime contractor is a person who has the contract directly with the government, right? Directly with the customer. The subcontractor will be the contractor who has the agreement with the prime contractor. And it's very important to know what you want to be, because then that's going to really determine how do you market your business or where do you find the opportunities. So if I want to be a subcontractor, meaning if we'll use construction as an example, we have construction and you have a general contractor, and then you have someone who may be a flooring contractor. So the general contractor is going to get that nice, big, massive contract from the government, but hey, they need someone to do their floors because they don't have someone in-house or within their company that specializes in that. That's where a subcontractor will come in, and they will have an agreement with the general contractor, and they will just come in that opportunity just to complete the flooring part of the scope or part of the contract. So if I am going in as a prime and I know that's something that I want to do and I have identified, then yes, I'm going to build relationships with the contracting officer. I'm going to search for, and I have it right here, search for solicitations and opportunities on some of the government websites. And I'm going to market my business directly with the government. However, if you decide that you're going to be a subcontractor, then what you need to do is probably market to other businesses and other businesses who are getting government contracts as a prime. So it's a little strategy that we do. And again, like I said, we have opportunities if you want to dig in deeper, ask questions at the end. So another way to find the right opportunities is through strategic partnerships. I can tell you for our business, a mass majority of our contracts came just solely off of relationships. Someone already knew what we did. They knew our past performance, and they brought an opportunity to us and said, hey, I know this is what ESS does, and I feel like you will be a great fit for this contract. That is really, really huge. That saves a lot of time of searching, writing proposals, creating teams. It really makes doing business a lot easier if you get that phone call and someone just wants you to be a part of something that's already existing. So those are going to be really, really big, as far as it getting that right opportunity. So you also want to register right here. You want to register with your city, not just your city, any city that you want to do business with, but you want to register with the city and state of your choice. Of course, you want to do your home state, and if you want to branch out from there, that's great. But you do need to register with their procurement site. So after you completed what we said, everything that you need to do to get your business started, start identifying the procurement websites. And all you have to do is go to Google, doing business or getting solicitations with the city of Atlanta or solicitations with the state of Georgia. And I can tell you right now, since we are in Georgia, it will be through Team Marketplace. That's where you will register for the state of Georgia. And that's where you will find all the opportunities that are in your state or that your state offers. So you definitely want to register with them. And it's important that you register, because if you find that opportunity that you like and you really feel like you want to go after it, you must be in their system to actually be eligible. So if you're not.
I'm sorry, who was that?
I'm sorry?
Who do you register with?
You can register, well, if you're in Georgia, Livette, are you in Georgia? You're in Georgia, correct? Team Marketplace. You can register with Team Marketplace, okay? And so, and actually I can put this down so I can see. So yeah, so if you register with Team Marketplace, you can see it. And you probably are also familiar with the Georgia Procurement Registry. You can view the opportunities there, but if you notice, if you click on the opportunities, you cannot bid on them or respond to them if you don't have your login with Team Marketplace. So you have to be in there. And that's how you submit the bids. So you won't even have access to submit it. So also you want to gain insight into the industry and culture. You know, there's so many times that I have people come to me and say, hey, I'm interested in government contracting, but they still want to do things the same as the commercial market or the consumer. You can't, it's not the same. So gaining insight and really understanding how they do business is going to help you find those opportunities and be successful. You know, really wrapping your mind around, okay, I know I provide this particular service this way. And it was funny because I had a conversation with someone yesterday about that. Doing business one way in the consumer market, you know, you can still take that same product or service, just like I said earlier, and do it in the government market, but you may not, like I said, post to social media, or you may not be a broker like you are in the commercial market. You have to get used to the idea that you're going to be working more on a massive scale on contracts, opposed to just working with individuals. So your model and how you do business may change a little bit. So just gaining insight and having someone to really guide you through that process to understand, hey, yeah, you can be successful and you can keep doing what you do, but this is just how you do it. So yeah, that's very important to know. And then also leveraging, let me get this out, leveraging your business. Leveraging your business is huge, right? So you got to think about it. There's thousands and millions of businesses out there, I should say, right? And especially if you're if you're a company that has an industry like ours, like training, is very saturated. Cleaning can be very saturated. Janitorial services can be very saturated. IT services can be very saturated. That's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, because even in the consumer market, those same industries can be saturated, meaning there's a lot of people that do that, right? On the flip side, I used to do abatement services. I tell everybody, you know, I was very successful as a woman-owned small business offering abatement services, but that was very niche, right? There were very far and few between that did asbestos abatement, and it was even fewer people who were woman-owned certified businesses that did abatement services. So, but I say all that to say, if you're in an industry, especially like ours, which is training, you want to leverage over your competition. Government contracting, hindsight, is a competition. You want the government to notice your business over everyone else and decide that they're going to give you the contract over the other companies. So what are the ways that you can do that? You can do that through certifications, just like I mentioned, and they have the DBE, which is the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And I have them all listed right here. You have your minority business enterprise, woman business enterprise. Those are mainly recognized with corporations or more recognized on the local and state level. But when you get into the woman-owned small business and the service disabled, HUBZone, and 8A, those are recognized in the federal market, okay? And there are a lot of different advantages to using those different certifications. Our company is woman-owned small business certified, and we're also DB certified through GDOT. So another way to leverage your business is through strategic partnerships, right? Just like I mentioned before, how do you find these opportunities? Yes, it's great to do your daily searches on the internet to find these opportunities. But again, like I said, most of our opportunities came from relationships. So I leverage my business by other business relationships, talking to people, meeting new people, networking events. Anytime I have an opportunity to build a connection with another company, I never know where the opportunities may come. So that definitely helps leverage it. Because even if you don't do business with them, guess what? They may know someone who needs your services as well. And so that goes into saying you need to widen your network. Definitely need to widen your network and business contacts, so you can just stay in the know of these particular opportunities. Stay in the know of what's going on. There's times that I have colleagues that call me and say, hey, did you know this small business expo was going on? Oh, no, I had no idea. Or, hey, did you know that they have a new GWAC coming out? Yes, I just threw a term at you, GWAC, government-wide acquisition contract. But they'll say, hey, do you know they have this new contract coming out? No, I did not know that. So, as much as I like to read and stay up and stay in the know on my own, it's always helpful to have a good circle of people around you so you know where these opportunities are so you can get ahead of your competition as well. So last, but certainly not least, this is probably one of the biggest things that's going to contribute to your success in this market is guidance. I can't say enough how I had a phenomenal mentor in there. And I really don't know how I would have been so successful without having a mentor. When I first started as a proposal writer, I already knew hands down that this is what I was going to do. Of course, I had uncles and family members who did government contracting, but I was never knee deep in it. But when I did get into it and decided this is exactly what I wanted to do, my mentor has introduced me to so many people that I probably would have never met, presented me with opportunities, and just the knowledge of watching them, operate their business, being a part of their contracts. That just helped me have insight that I don't think I ever would have saw, or it would have taken me many, many years to get that kind of hands-on insight, without someone guiding me through the process. So I would say, just like in anything else that you want to be successful, get guidance. They do have free centers, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, which is also known as PTAC. They do have, of course, SBA. They hold a lot of free webinars. They are also they're very involved in the certification process as well. So if you have questions or you want to reach out to them, you can. Getting a mentor, like I said, I've had an excellent mentor, or through webinars like this. So just like webinars, just like this one today, getting guidance and just some more insight. It really helps because searching the internet, if you have tried coming down this road before, or if you haven't and you want to, you will realize that trying to find the answers on the internet can lead you through a web of what they love to call red tape. And you can get very frustrated very easily. And unfortunately, many just say, forget it. I'm just going to quit. This is too difficult. So don't go down that path. Getting guidance. There's free centers out there, but there's also very intimate, help that you can get as well through mentorship. So again, these help you scale your business at the right time. So when you're ready to scale, how do you do that in the government market? You really want someone who's gotten their feet wet and has actually scaled their business, to really kind of guide you through that. They can give you assistance with certifications. If you haven't been through the certification process, that too can become very daunting if it's the first time you've laid eyes on it, but it doesn't have to be hard, right? None of this has to be hard. They can give you assistance with certifications, understanding how to navigate and find the right opportunities. I can't tell you how many times I had someone, call me, or we've had a consultation and they're so frustrated because they just can't find anything that they do searching these websites. Well, just with a few strategic methods and some help from somebody else, you can find the opportunities or the right opportunities for your business. But most importantly, right, once you find the opportunities, how do you respond to them? Okay, great. This sounds great. This looks good. So what's next? I don't know how to write a proposal, or I don't know how to price a bid. Again, guidance from someone who has done it already will help you get through that. And contacts and resources. Like I said, my business, I think I know I went eons beyond my competition when I first started, just based off of contacts and resources. My mentor gave me access to so many tools and so many people. And that's something that even our business also shares with people. Get access to our contacts, get access to our resources. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, or you don't have to start from scratch. We may know someone who's in your industry and who's ready to do business with a company like yours, right? And instead of trying to do it the hard way, just go the easier route and get their contacts and resources. So real quick, and I will get to any questions that you may have, is what to look for in a mentor, right? It's really important. Every mentor is not a good mentor. You want to look out for certain things like the keen interest in helping people. Really make sure they're in it for you. You don't want a mentor that is only in a take situation of what they can take from you. You want them to really be interested in your growth and have unbiased opinions on where you need to take your company. You probably want to stay away from friends and family sometimes. And I mean, if you can reach out to friends and family, that's great, but it's also very good to have someone who is unbiased again in their opinions. And when your business takes off, someone who's ready to ride that wave with you. So you definitely want to have someone who has firsthand experience. You don't want a mentor who just has textbook knowledge and who hasn't won a contract, or who hasn't been through the full procurement process and built relationships, because they really can't tell you some of the real pitfalls that you may encounter. If you just have textbook knowledge, I mean, it sounds good on paper, but what is it really going to look like for me? So you want someone who has real firsthand experience, knowledge, and insight in the area in which you are trying to be successful. So you want a mentor, obviously, who is good at building solid relationships, because if they can't build solid relationships, how can they help you build solid relationships, right? So you want someone who does have a pool of maybe contractors to work with or subcontractors, but also you want to make sure they have the ability to create new relationships that work for you. What if their circle doesn't fit what you want to do? Then that may not be the best mentor. But if they have a wide circle, or you notice they can create new relationships really easy, then that's someone who can probably really help you. You want someone motivating, of course, who wants to be in mentorship if they're demotivating or they're not encouraging. So definitely look out for the synergy that you guys have, and make sure that they know how to help you identify your goals and reach them. Okay. So with that being said, I definitely highly recommend that you get a mentor today. You can schedule a free consultation if you have more questions on government contracting, anything that we discussed today. How can you get the guidance you need to be successful, grow a multi-million-dollar business without using that social media and posting multiple times a day, right? So you can schedule a free consultation today, and that's the number below. But right now, what I'll do is open up. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
I have a quick question, kind of weird, but what's the difference between the woman business enterprise and the woman-owned small business? And I already have what do I have here? The minority business enterprise certification. I also have the DBE, it's Advantage Business Enterprise. But I applied for the woman-owned small business actually before, and my business was not formed properly. Therefore, there was a document that was missing, and unfortunately, I just didn't do anything about it. I just kind of let it go, but I'm gonna start working on it again. I have to get the documentation in place.
Okay. Yeah, but
But-
no, that's a good question because they are different. They're not the same. So the WBE, Women Business Enterprise, again, is more recognized on the local state level, right? They have certain percentages where they want to allocate money or making sure they're recognizing certain groups of businesses. And that's whether it's the DBE, the MBE, or the WBE. So you may see on a state solicitation, hey, we have a goal to contract out to 30% WBE, women business enterprises, right? They want to meet that percentage goal to say, hey, the state is recognizing these groups, right? We're recognizing these businesses. And so how you can leverage your business with that is if you're going after that, and I'll use ours as an example, we went after a DOT contract and they had that particular stipulation. It wasn't stipulation, but it was a suggestion, this is what this is our goal. And so when you think about it, when you're responding to that, on that particular proposal, we did partner. We weren't DBE at the time. We are now, but then we weren't. We partnered with a DBE certified company to say, hey, our team also has a disadvantaged business enterprise partner. And they've been through this process that that you want, that's part of the scope of work. And we'll also help you meet your percentage goals. So you're coming to the government or you're coming to that customer with an incentive like, hey, we're going to help you get there. You're clearly stating this is a goal of yours and we can help you meet that, right? It's also really big with businesses because these large corporations like the Walmarts, the Targets of the world, the Lockheed Martins, Deloitte's, because they're so large, they actually have these small business requirements, subcontracting requirements. And they too need to meet a requirement for MBE, DBE, and WBE. So that's where you really leverage it with those corporations, or you really leverage it through the proposal writing process, like I just mentioned. The woman-owned small business is different, right? So that's recognized in the federal market. So if you're trying to do business like with the Department of Navy, U.S. Coast Guard, Army, those are in the federal market. They have what they call set-asides. So it's really just that they set aside a certain amount of contracting dollars for women-owned small businesses, HUBZone, service disabled, and 8A companies. And so with that, you may see solicitations that are just for women-owned small businesses. And so for you, Livette, you're in cleaning services, correct, right?
Yeah.
Cleaning services. Again, you're like me. We're in a saturated field. It just is what it is. There's going to be a lot of cleaning services out there, just like there's a lot of training and development companies out there. So how do you separate yourself from everybody else? Well, if I went on beta.sam.gov and I'm looking for a federal opportunity, and I'm also I'm in janitorial, you're in janitorial, but I'm not certified as a woman-owned small business. And I may see the perfect opportunity, like, oh, I want to go after that opportunity, but it will clearly state set aside for woman-owned small business. You would be able to actually pursue that, and I would not. So it eliminates people who either aren't a woman-owned small business, or it also eliminates the people who did not get the certification. So you're limiting basically your pool of competition. So that's how that works. So hopefully that explains.
I didn't realize that there was a WBE. I was never aware of that one. I have to look it up when I apply, because I find that if I apply in volume, it's easier because they all want the same documentation.
Yep. They all want the same documents and they're all updated. So if you some people do that, just apply to everyone that you want.
Yep.
And that way you don't have to go back and figure out where you put them or find updated documents. Yeah. So that definitely helps.
No, as far as a mentorship, I guess everybody here is with you. The same. You guys are together.
We have one person. Let's see, Danya. I don't know if she's still on here, but she's on the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how do I just request a free consultation to see if it's something that, I know it's something that I need. I don't know. I do have a business coach right now I work with, but a big thing that we have been talking about, I say we, my husband and I, have been talking about with the business is really spend this year focusing on like post-construction clean. And the reason is a big, our mantra is you matter, we care. And that goes for our employees along with our clients. And we are really, really big about our employees. And there's a group of people that it's very hard to hire, hard for them to find jobs. And as much as there's this huge shortage of jobs, we still have folks out there who are looking for work and having a hard time. And as we did our research and I shouldn't have said research, but more, really, really thought it out carefully. We think that's an area that we can hire more of these folks in our cleaning industry. And it's individuals who have been incarcerated. And a lot of them, it's just a one-time thing. You may have a list of stuff on their thing if because they didn't show up for whatever, and they went back in jail. It's not that they did anything. After that, it's just a matter of not showing up. And unfortunately, it walks with them and they cannot have this steady job. And we've run into a problem where there are some of the folks we work with who we can't send them to that site. There are some, I have one gentleman that actually we do residential cleaning, and he said, I don't care, everyone needs a chance. But he's just one of the very few persons that we can send some of these folks to. But we find that on the post-construction sites, it's a more a easier place for individuals like those to work. So we really want to delve into that area so we can help these people, because at the end of the day, and I tell folks, no, we're not nonprofit, but that doesn't mean that we are non-human. The biggest part of our business is to help other people grow. Professionally, financially, and personally. And thus, so I don't know what in government contracting and how we can take that into that arena, because again, I know there are some stuff with government contracting where again, you cannot hire some folks.
So oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. I thought you were
I'm pretty much done. That's the point I was trying to get out, that we want to work with these folks. But we also want to get some government contracts.
Go two ways. And it's always good to have that strategy where, like, even just to have a mixture in pretty much anything you do in business. Like, we have a mixture where, yes, we prime, even one of our contracts, Urban League, we're prime on, certain contracts that we have. But then also there are others where we would team and subcontract with others. It's just having that mixture of where the opportunities are. But construction, is another one of those really huge markets. It slowed down slightly, obviously, because of COVID and just not being able to just physically be at certain sites. But just like everything that opened up, construction opened up as well. And with that, being a part of the construction industry at one point, remember, I was in asbestos abatement. So I was part of that cleaning crew at one point, where we dealt with, getting the dumpsters for the construction sites. So it is that's something that's very, very big. GCs do need that. A lot of general contractors, which you'll notice that they do, is they're the ones that holds the license and the credentials. That's typically how that's operated. And majority of that construction work is subcontract out. So whether it was the drywall, the flooring, the abatement service, the demolition, most of that was coming from other companies that they partner with. And the GC was the qualified person with the bonding that was necessary to get the contract with the government. So if that is something that you're looking to do, excuse me, absolutely. I mean, we can definitely talk about getting you connected with some of the GCs that I have worked with that helped me, you know, when I was doing the abatement services, because having a good connection with a good prime or a good GC, that's where a lot of your work is going to come from.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, absolutely talk about how to take that same, even what you do with the cleaning, janitorial services, that in itself, you know, there's a lot of COVID cleaning contracts that are out there. That has actually skyrocketed on the flip side of construction because of COVID. You know, they've actually expanded janitorial contracts to having specific COVID cleaning contracts and, you know, janitorial. So, I mean, absolutely. Just kind of getting you connected with the right people and finding those. We definitely can get you there. So, and it is a little different than the business coaching because I'm familiar with that business coaching because they're gonna, and I believe, and I think it's with who I know. I think I know your coach, but phenomenal at setting up your business. You know, getting that set up and really having your business structured outside of what it was before. But we definitely can get you in the government space and you know, help you get successful there.
Absolutely. That's really going to be a big thing we do this year. That's and the business coach I will continue. It's been very resourceful. We are learning a lot of stuff, even hiring it. And it's interesting because I'm coming from an HR background in my previous working for Folk Life, but hiring
different, right?
20 years ago, it's not going to cut it now. Hiring and retaining, and what we have learned, we're able to hire in one day right now. And
that's good.
And the folks that we hired, they stay.
Yeah.
In an industry where you know a lot of people go in and out and different places. We hired folks back in September. They're still there with us. I've known other folks who have gone to 2 different or 3 different jobs and just going around because we do a lot of training with them also personally, financially. We have a banker talk to our employees about banking, and I mean, it's like everything. We do CPR. We ensure that they're not just coming to get paid. At the end of the day, they are a better person. So if you want to leave us next week, and I tell them that's fine, but I want to make sure when you leave better than you came.
Yeah.
You know,
you create that culture. I remember talking about that. That culture is very huge, you know. So, but yeah, I would definitely like you. I can have you speak with either Cheryl or, you know, Kyle, and just give you some more information just on what mentorship looks like. The good thing is I've worked with you before in some capacity, just not the government space. And, you know, we can take that same, you know, guided approach, but, you know, just dig really deep because we're about results. You know, we're all about results here, not just information. Right. Got enough of that on Google. We won't need any more information. We need to know what to do with this information. So what I'm going to do, did you have any other questions, Livette?
No, just want to kind of get to, you know, find out exactly what I can get from you guys, how we go about it, what's involved, cost, and all that good stuff.